Alright, so today we are going to create a nursery name SVG file. So basically it's just going to be a simple round 20-inch name sign, and we're just creating the SVG for it. So basically we just need the name, right? So there's not going to be any design on it, it's just going to be the name. So it's fairly simple. So I'm using Adobe Illustrator. I believe it's like $29 a month. I don't know, but I use it for literally anything. Even if I just buy files, sometimes they need to be fixed or customized. I do that all in Adobe Illustrator. I find it the easiest. So we're going to go to Create New. It doesn't matter which one you pick. We're just going to open. Alright, so what I'm going to do is zoom out a bit. I'm not going to use this because we are going to make the design in here to size. So what that means is I'm going to actually put a 28-inch circle in here, and we will fit the name appropriately to that so that when we go to cut it on the laser, it's cut out exactly how large it needs to be in order to look decent on a 20-inch round. So I'm using the Glowforge Plus, which does not have the pass-through, which you don't need it. So let's get started. So we're going to start with the ellipse tool. We are going to do the ellipse, and I have the guides on, so that's why you see the purple lines. This is a perfect circle, this is not. Doesn't matter, just make a circle. So this box automatically pops up for me. If it didn't pop up for you, you can go up to Window and scroll down to Transform, and it comes up. And this is where you can change the size of your circle. So right now it's measuring in pixels, which I don't know pixels, so I'm going to go up to Illustrator and Preferences and Units. And here you can change the units to inches, feet, yards, whatever. I like inches. Hit OK, and now you can see it's in inches right here. So it's 17 point whatever by this, which is not what I want. I want a 20-inch circle because that's what my backing is going to be on my nursery sign. So I'm just going to change this to 20 inches. If you click this, it will proportionally put the other side. Okay, whatever. No, it didn't. 20 by, okay. Just keep that off and hit 20 by 20. There we go. Don't mess with this. Alright, so I'm going to X that out. Now we have my 20-inch circle. So if I were to load this into the Glowforge app, it's going to be giant because it's going to be literally 20 inches. So I don't want it to be filled in, so I'm going to go over here to fill and put the one with the little red line through it, and now it's see-through and its stroke has a black line around it. So there we go, my perfect circle. So now we're going to create the text for our name. So we're going to go over here and click the big T. If this stuff is not over here for you, if you go right here, you can scroll through and click what you need. But I have my most used stuff right here. So we're going to hit the T, and I'm just going to put it right in there. It's going to be really small at first. See all that text? I'm just going to delete it and type in the first name. We're going to highlight it, come over here, and increase the font. We'll go really big, 250. It's even going to have to be bigger than that. So I accidentally deleted it. If you want to undo something on your Mac, you can hit Command Z and it goes straight back. I'm using a Mac. I know the controls for Mac. I don't know the controls for other computers, but I learned them by just easy Googling something, and then it'll tell you. We're going to go a little bit bigger. Let's try 300. We'll do that for now. I don't really like that font, and that's not the font that we are using. So we're going to come over here. I've purchased a bunch of fonts, mostly off of Etsy, that I can use for commercial use. So yeah, my customer for this sign wants, where is it? This font. So there it is. You can see it's cut off. So what I'm going to do is hit the selection tool and make this box a little bit bigger. And now we can select it, and since my guides are on, it's going to help me with these lines center it. So I want this right in the center like that. That looks pretty good. I even want it a little bit bigger. So if you double click, it'll go back to the typing tool automatically. I can highlight and go a little bigger. Since there's no other designs on here, I kind of want this one big. All right, there we go. That looks pretty center. Yeah, right there. All right, now I'm going to do the same exact thing, except, oops, I'll draw it down here. We're going to do the middle name, and we want this a different font. So I'm going to do the same thing, change it to this one, and I don't want it as big as the first name. It's not usually what signs look like, and the customer didn't want it that big, but that's still too small, so we're going to make it even bigger. You can just kind of eyeball it. See, this is why I like the big circles, so that we can see exactly how it's going to look in real life. All right, that looks pretty good to me. Now, if you want to see the outline for what your Glowforge or laser is going to cut on the Mac, you can hit Command Y. And this gave me outlines, but as you can tell, there is no cut path on here because the text is not in SVG format yet. So to do that, we are going to hit the selection tool. I'm already on it. We're going to hit the name, and over here on the side, you can hit create outlines, or if that's not there, you can go over to object, path, maybe not path, text. I don't know exactly where it's at. It's over here somewhere. Maybe outline stroke, I think. But what I do is I hit Command Shift O, and there, it automatically outlined it. So now that is in SVG format. We're going to click this one and do the same thing, Command Shift O, or remember you can hit the create outlines over here. So now it has my cut outlines. So if I click on one, you can see all the little vector points and all that. From here, you can still adjust size to what you want, but I like what we have. But as you can see right here, the lines are overlapping. So if that were to cut on my laser, it's going to cut into this letter, which I don't want. So what I'm going to do is select it, and you want to weld the letters. On mine, it shows up over here as Pathfinder, and it's going to be this first one to unite them. But if it's not, you can go to Window, and you can hit, it's one of these. It's called Pathfinder. So hit Pathfinder, and this box comes up. And you have all these other options down here too, and it does different things for shapes and stuff. You can mess around with it, but what we're going to do is hit this one, and there you go. So you can see that it welded them. So we don't need to do that for this because it's not cursive. Now what we're going to do, I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. I don't like this right here, so I'm zooming way in. Going to click it and just delete. Oops, I'll go back. All right, we don't want the selection tool. We want the direct selection so that I can just choose one little anchor point. So I click it, hit delete, click, delete, click, delete, click, delete. Then I'm gonna join these. So I just select them both, hit this, and make it a round point. This is a corner point, this is a round, and then I can adjust this to make it kind of nicer. Here, let's make this a round point. I don't know. There, that looks a lot better. So we got that. Looks like there's a small little area right here I don't like. Let's see. Actually, that's fine. It's not gonna noticeable. Okay, so that looks great. So that's exactly what it's gonna cut out. Now, we are not going to cut out, you know, I'm not liking this. I'm going to select this and move it a little bit. It looks a little off center to me. And that looks great. So now we have this, and like I said, this is exactly what's going to load into your Glowforge app, but this is not what I want in there because we're not going to cut out this big circle on there because that's not how big my bed is on my laser. So the reason another reason that I have this circle is because I do this cool little trick on here where I'm going to create a square. So we're going to click this and rectangle tool, and I'm just going to create a shape over here. And I'm going to make it 19 inches by 11 inches because that is the sheet of wood size that I have. So now this is what's going to cut out on my Glowforge, right? So I take this and I put it so it's covering the entire thing that I want to cut out, I want there to be minimal waste, and we can't cut out the entire 19-inch thing, so we're going to bring it in a little bit on all sides. Not exactly. So this one though, on one side, I want it to be overlapping on the circle, and I'll tell you why. Because what we're gonna do is select I hold down on the left button, or on the left mouse pad, and select both the rectangle and the circle like that. So I have both of those highlighted. I don't have the name highlighted, but I have these two highlighted, right? And now I'm going to come back over here. If you click here, it shows all the other ones too, but I believe it's this one. We're going to create a compound shape. Let's see. There we go. So now I have this as a reference guide for when I go to place my letters on my board. This is going to be like a stencil. So we're going to cut this out, we're going to cut this out, we're going to cut this big thing out, and I'm going to line this line up on my 20-inch circle, and it's going to give me a perfect stencil. I don't usually glue the letters inside the stencil. What I'll do is take a pencil and just lightly trace it kind of in areas like the bottoms and stuff like that, just so that I know, basically mimicking like a score on the board so that I can know exactly where to place my letters. I'm not very good at doing it with like painter's tape, outlining it or measuring it or anything like that, so I find that this works best for me. So now I'm just going to save that. And we want to save it as an SVG. I'm going to name it Oakley Rose name. I want it to my desktop, and it's going to be an SVG file. Hit save. Okay. Now we can exit out of that. We can open up our Glowforge app. I don't have it on right now, but I will just show you bringing it up. Alright, this is what I have in there currently, and like I said, it's not on, so it's not updating the bed, but that's what I was last working on. So like I said, it's going to be really big, remember, because it's actually true to size on here. So we're going to bring it, and it'll fit perfectly in there. So it's going to cut out this entire thing. So we can choose the material and cut. Choose whatever you need. I'm not going to go in depth on this part, but that is how I would make my baby nursery name sign SVG file. So like I said, this is just for a basic name sign. It's not going to have any florals on it or anything crazy, just the name. So yeah, I hope you guys like this. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below or message me privately. I don't mind answering anything. And stay tuned for my next video where I will cut this and prime and paint it.